So one of the main reasons for this video today is that one of these watches is actually real and one is a fake. Now, I know there's a lot of videos out there which I've looked at as well prior to buying the watch, but I have to say one of the watches I received, it's one of the higher end clones out there. Like, I've done my research on these watches before I was buying them, and without a doubt, if someone had purchased one, they would have no impression that one was a fake. So hopefully at some point we're going to be able to discuss these and see what the differences are, if there's any, and if anybody could notice what the difference is in a watch. Now, again, I'm just going to give you some very close-up pictures of the watch. As you can see, the being the Powermatic there, it has a very smooth sweeping movement on the seconds watch. And obviously the bands are here as well. And I mean, I will just kind of get into it to tell you guys straight away that the actual real watch is the green one. So the emerald green is my watch, which was brought from Fraser Hart in the UK. Completely genuine receipt, being serviced by Tissot as well. Letter to, you know, there's nothing to say that is in a real watch. Now this watch here is the one that was purchased. Given it was bought from an online auction site, and I won it fairly cheap for £250, but you know, you do get watches selling for in the 300 range. But I'm going to kind of give you an idea of what the differences are. So again, you know, when it comes to the weight and the quality of these watches, it is second to none on telling what the difference is. If I can, you know, kind of show you, I'm recording in higher 60 frame rate, you can see the quality of the watch and the waffles in there. Now if I do the same in this watch, it's very, very good. I mean, I've tried comparing both these side by side by either looking at the print on the watch, and it is very, very difficult to tell a difference. You know, there's a window bevel, so you can see even the window, it has a slight bevel. It's not just a square, there's a slight angle. They both have that. Even the X, which is slightly shorter on the top, it's exactly the same. And if I'm honest, I was probably surprised that the blue one is a fake, and that's why I just want to make this video to help people out there that might be buying a watch online so they know. Now, one of the first things I thought that there might be a difference is the weight. So I've taken the bracelet off because of my green one. I've actually removed a few links. So on the scales for the original one, it plays between 18 grams. I think that is on the pad. Let me just put it onto a glass. Okay, sorry guys. So I've been doing this, it's coming between 67 to 66 grams normally. Now, the blue watch. This was coming at 67 before, so it's there you go. See, it varies, but you know, like for like, the weight is definitely second to none. You can't tell, and you know, without even joking, the quality of this watch, it's shocking on how good it is. I know there's some fakes out there that have a complete a plain steel frame. So they'll say it's a Powermatic. You'll have all the waffles and everything, but this is all completely closed off with steel. And obviously the Powermatic has this flat window at the back that shows Powermatic movement. You know, a normal watch, you will give you all this information on the top, and one of the main things that people look for on the watch is this number here. If I can get it on the right. So this number here, if you can just about see. Now that is a WS number, which is this 3LWR5WD09. that's a watch serial number. Now if you put that into the Tissot website and add it as a watch, it should come up and it should show it's a blue Powermatic, and this one exactly did. It showed me that the warranty started just in mid of 2025. And you know, again, I had no concerns when I received it. I was thinking, well, you know, because I compared it to that watch, everything seemed legit. Again, the quality is very good. People talk about some of the qualities being very bad. If I show you back to back on the two watches, so this is my original one. Again, it's you know, the layouts are very similar. You know, everything is written where it should be. If I just turn that one the other way, actually, so you can see the writing in the same place. So as you can see, it says Tissot where it should do in the middle. Sapphire crystal, which it does. That's the watch reference number, water resistance, and then my watch serial, and exactly the same on here. You know, it is scary how much these are, how like for like they actually are. Even some of the videos I see, that there's a slight etching on these, as you can see in here. It's like a brushed kind of effect. And if I look at my original one, it has that same kind of effect there. And one of the main things people say to look for is that in this watch, there you go, after the Swiss there it says 23, if the rotor moves, it says 23 joules. Now some fakes don't say that. Now this watch, it does say that, but it's in gold. So that's probably something first of all to watch out for. It shouldn't be written in gold as far as I'm aware. Another thing that I saw in a lot of videos when I was looking at the watches is that where you have this crown at the top where you can see the rotor moving, if I just show you on this one, this is an original, as you can see. Now one video I saw, it said that where you've got that kind of pink stone in the middle and the rotor are moving around, on this one, if you can see that arm sticking up on the right hand side. One video I saw before said that there shouldn't be an arm like that. So that's what kind of concerned me at the start. You know, you can see the movement is very good and you wouldn't tell a difference. But yeah, so that is one of the things to look out for, is whether that arm is there, and then whether it says 23 joules in gold. You know, a lot of them say this is what the original should say, this high-tech escapement, I think it is. They both say that there, so it's exactly like for like. So another thing I just want to very quickly come out to on these watches is the only one thing I could tell that was a fake, now that I've compared these properly, is if I put these watches side by side. Sorry guys, I've got two hands. Now, the one on the right is my green original one. I'll zoom in a little bit. See, the quality is very close. Now, the only thing I could really tell on one of the videos is, if you can see in the light, the top one has a very slight kind of a gold coloration to it, where the bottom one is silver. Now, it's very hard to, and even the camera might not be picking it up too well, but in person that's something that is definitely a difference I could tell. So yeah, so that's about the watches. Like I said, like for like, you wouldn't tell. The quality of this is really good. If I even saw this in a a genuine goldsmith in the UK somewhere, I would think it's an original watch. Now even coming down to the straps. So these straps, the shorter one is my one because I've had it sized for myself. Now, a lot of the videos say that on the original, as you can see here, it should have 4 kind of pins in there. Just to kind of show you what mine says, it does say stainless steel, it has a reference number there. And on this side it says I believe it's TSR, and it says AB. Yeah, so that's my one. The fake one here, it says the reference as well on there, but on this one it says RSP. Now I don't know if that changes on watches, but that's one of the differences I can tell. But looking at the actual clasp itself, you know, compared to some of the fake ones where they have 3 in there, this is a very, very good copy. Even where in here, where it says Tissot and it says the 1853 from when these watches were first made, they both are actually engraved into the steel. And again, it's very, very difficult to tell any kind of difference in both of them. Now, another video that I saw, it did mention that a way of telling if it's real or not is that although the strap is brushed, but this inside part should be a stainless shiny kind of steel, as you can see there. However, even on this fake bracelet, it's brushed, but there is a shine in between the links there. It's like I said, it's like for like. Now, just to keep things very quick and just to kind of tell you the only differences I could really tell if I flip these over. So the first difference is on this watch, which is original. If I zoom in, you'll see that gap there between that watch. If I should put the fake beside it, you can see that gap there, and that is significantly larger. So that is definitely a sign, and it's something that you wouldn't really spot because the quality of the bracelet itself it's second to none. You know, it's got all the markings along the bracelet like an original one does. So yeah, so definitely look out for that gap. If it's a bigger gap, it might be fake. Now, the other thing I could only tell is the width of the back of this clasp. So in my original here, if I just zoom out slightly for you, this gap here and that gap is much smaller on the original. So if I can just pull out a tape measure, if I just put it somewhere, I'll put it starting from the 4 mark just to get a better thing. So as you can see there, the middle of the clasp is 5, 6, 7, 8 millimeters. So just from where that spring is, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now if we do that same thing on this watch, it's 9 mil. So you can tell, I mean, looking them side by side, you can tell there's a significant difference in that and that. So that is the only difference I can really suggest in these watches. So the only thing that I can pick up after comparing both of them is that the gap here is much larger than this gap on an original, and this is about 0.9 to 1 centimeter, where that is 0.8 in between as a gap. Apart from that, the quality of this bracelet is very, very good. I would not know that's, you know, it's a fake at all. And you know, the Powermatic is known for having the quick release, and I'll show you them. That's the fake, so it's got the quick release. I found these to be slightly harder to squeeze in, but you can see they've got a little slit on the top, and even on my original one. So you know, some fakes don't even have the quick release, but this just shows you how good of a fake this is. So yeah, so guys, so that is the main difference. So again, just to very quickly summarize, the gap on the clasp, the gap in the actual bracelet, and when we are turning them over, don't go just by registering the watch, because I said this is registered on Tissot. I put it on when I was purchasing and it showed it's under warranty. It matched the blue watch, but like I said, one of the main things, I look for this little arm that sticks out by that movement. And again, as we mentioned, where it says 23 jewels inside being gold, that's fake. Now, one thing I'd always suggest is, you know, there's nothing wrong with buying from someone like eBay or, you know, any reputable online auction site, as long as you have some sort of protection. Now in the UK, obviously, as a lot of you know, you do have pay with PayPal, and this gave me eBay protection as well. And this buyer, even before I purchased the watch, he was accepting returns. Now, a lot of people probably wouldn't know this about the watch, and it's something that I really want to share now, because on all the videos I've seen, I've not heard this of any other kind of YouTube video, TikTok, any kind of website. No one's actually mentioned this to me. So if I can just put something just to hold out for you guys. So again, you know, you wouldn't tell if I bought this fake, if I knew this was a fake and I was buying it for maybe like £100 compared to the original being 640, it isn't bad at all. The quality of the bracelet, the weight of it, it's superb compared, you know, the original is the original, but it's very, very hard to tell there's any difference. Now, one thing I will definitely suggest, and I will put this in a link in the comments underneath, but Tissot actually provide you a service where you can send a watch off to Tissot and they will actually have it checked out for you. Now, you complete a form in, it doesn't matter where you've purchased the watch from. They'll send you a prepaid envelope, which is about £10. They'll send you a box, which is this one. They'll send a small pouch for you to put your watch into, and that's a prepaid service, and you take it to the post office and they charge you about £10–11 on the post, but again, it's all been paid for by Tissot. You send that off to Tissot and Tissot will actually check the watch. You can just tell them that you purchased it from a private seller and you want to check if it's genuine. Now, I've done that on the second watch that I purchased and the letter's actually come today. Obviously I won't go too much, but it's a genuine letter from Tissot. Not showing you the top because obviously my address is there, but as you can see, once they service it, it gives you the serial number, and when you send the watch to Tissot, they'll actually send you an email giving you the number and a password, so you can actually log on to check the steps of where the watch is, on what kind of process and where it's getting done and when it's being returned. So it's a very good service with Tissot. So here's a serial number that matches the back of the watch, and as you can see, here's a letter that they've sent me. So, you know, they've just said, you know, they ran diagnostics on the product and the watch is deemed to be a counterfeit product. One of the things, you know, this just tells you, it's a letter of proof to say that you can take it back to whichever retailer you purchased it from to say it's a fake. So, you know, hopefully anybody will help you. It doesn't say on the letter, but when I actually looked and logged on to the website for when the service is done, this one does show you it's a caliber, an automatic movement. Now this one, again, although this has got the full, you know, the movements are on an automatic, when I logged online it says quartz on there. Letter doesn't mention it, so I don't know whether it's just something that Tissot have got confused, but the letter does mention it's a counterfeit, and if they deem it to be a counterfeit, I'm more than happy to, you know, return it back. So again, this is a complete free service with Tissot. You send it to them, takes about 2 to 3 weeks. I think it came back sooner actually, but they'll do a full check for you. They'll cover the cost of it going, comes back with DHL. And yeah, so that's always the best thing to do whenever you purchase a watch. If it's used from someone, do definitely send it off to Tissot and see what they say. But again, the watch itself is an amazing watch. It's you know, the original one, I'm really happy with my original watch. The, you know, for the price it is great, but just be aware guys, there's a lot of counterfeits out there. Not as a, you know, not as a super clone as this is. I'd say this is a very good clone. That said, you get somewhere the writing is off, there's 3 pins, the back is completely, you know, completely plain metal. And one other quick one I'll mention to you guys, where this has a serial number, as you can see there, the just on the top over here, so that has a unique number. Now each watch is different, and as I said, when, you know, said as mentioned earlier in the video, when you put that on the Tissot website, you add it to your collection, it shows what the watch is. Now a lot of counterfeits, they all have the same number on there. Off memory I can't think what it is, but I think it's something like 987 BLV123. Now that's like a sample batch number. It comes up on the website where it shows you where to render it from. It says that. Now a lot of fakes, they use that as a watch serial, 987 BLV123. So if you see one with that, that's a fake straight away. But again, I did check the serial number on this one. I added it, it showed it was active, so there was no way of me knowing that this wasn't genuine. And what I will just finish off with is that this is the box the watch came with. If I can just manage to take it out with one hand. So again, it's got all the packaging on there. Looks very genuine. I mean, this is another Tissot watch that I have, so look, I can compare these. So this is an original, this is a Powermatic, no sorry, beg your pardon, this is a PRC 100 I believe that I have. Again, this is a genuine watch, but the box, the only main difference I can say in the box is this. It is embossed, but not as high, where if I put this side by side, you can clearly see a difference. So this is what the fake watch came in. And again, I don't know if watches come in all these different kind of boxes. The only reason I say is because my original watch of the Green Powermatic, it came in this square cases. But again, you may see a lot of people selling these watches as well with a fake box, or maybe they can buy these watches. But that's the kind of box it came in original. So yeah, I hope you guys do find this useful. And as I said, I think the biggest tip I'll say is if you buy one, definitely send it off to Tissot to see what they can do. But I hope this video has been useful to you guys, and any questions, feel free to give me a shout. Take care.